Hey guys, welcome to Sick Jam Sundays, episode 2? Question mark? It's been so long.
It's episode 3.
Yeah.
It's episode 3, nice.
Episode 2 came out last November.
Oh yeah, it was Classic Wine.
Welcome to 2020, guys.
No, it was The Glow Part 2 by the Microglows.
No. But we also had the Classic Wine.
Yeah, that one was earlier.
Right? Yeah. Anyways, this time we listen to an album that has no name by a band that is just dots. It's I guess we'll call the band Dots, and the album Untitled, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think they usually go by Dots Tokyo. Otherwise,
that's their domain name on their website.
Yeah.
We have a guest, by the way. Say hi, Classmateguy. This is a guy from our Discord. He's our classmate, and
I'm the one and only classmate guy. I basically don't exist, but yeah, I do.
You make maps.
Yeah, I make maps. I like to paint. I'm currently writing right now, trying to work on some getting a breakthrough in the SCP wiki.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, and I do
I had no
commentary. I do political commentary and stuff, and just there's a lot of shit going on right now, but I'm kind of a jack of all trades, I'd say.
So, I see you're working on that SCP wiki. When you have a little bit of time, maybe you can start up an SPP wiki? Hey.
Yeah, I really like your maps and
Thanks.
paintings.
Yeah, we're in the middle of a virus.
Link in the description.
And I'm moving and stuff, so I'm going to be getting back to it very soon, though.
Yeah.
Big plans.
We'll link some.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you can go down on my Twitter, and I got all my shit linked up there, too.
Yeah.
So we want to start off with our familiarity with the album?
I guess I'd rather introduce the... Oh, I guess we could do that first and then introduce the band and the album and stuff.
Also, Alex and I are here.
Yeah.
I'm really the star of the show, but,
I guess so.
So, Dots Tokyo, or just 10 dots in a row, and an untitled album. It doesn't actually say untitled. It's just a blank space in between those brackets. Japanese people like to put their titles in. So it's, it's hard to look up, but it's like pretty elusive. You're like, ooh, what's this?
It's like No Game, No Life. With the character that has no name, no game, and no life.
It took me a second. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I recommended this album. Like, I wanted to talk about this because, like most people probably, I found this band through the Asian Shoegaze YouTube channel in 2018 when it got uploaded, and I don't know, it's super unique, and I've been listening to it a ton over the years.
It's definitely a fun album that I'd return to. It feels... It's not like a super niche album that I would have a hard time returning to, like The Glow Part 2. This is definitely something that I could just throw on if I'm in the mood for something fun and a little bit wistful.
Yeah. I started listening to it, I think, about a month after it came out. I was homeschooling during then, and it was a big mess, but I listened to that album every day, every single day, maybe even twice a day for 3 months straight. And
Same.
I've been listening to it.
Not to cut you off, but you were homeschooled? I thought you were our classmate.
Yeah.
What is this lie?
For about a year, I was my own classmate.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a really funny, ironic origin story for you. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, so it was basically my morning coffee, this album, because it's I think just from the get-go it's very energetic and enjoyable and hella cute and shit. So this was and still is my shit. I still listen to it at least once a week. It is at least in my top 10, if not like top 5 albums ever. I just really love this shit, and the elusiveness of the band itself really, I think, adds to the aesthetic.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's like a secret club
agree.
that we get to be part of now.
You can like definitely either enjoy it because it's like straight bangers after like banger after banger, and then you can also like put it on in the background because it's shoegaze, and most tracks are just walls of sound. But like you can also like really get into the album and the band and like the production of the songs themselves and stuff.
I think that's one of the things
crazy.
With shoegaze in general, I think, is that it works both as passive and more direct music. So it's really all around, and even given that it's more of shoegaze with noise pop and like, kind of idle
like
pop.
Dream pop.
Yeah, dream pop and idle pop production. I think it's a really unique and well done fusion that it just makes this like really fucking good.
Let's talk about the band themselves first a little bit, and like the context. Okay, this band, I think they formed in 2016.
Yeah.
As far as I know, and they had first of all, it's a shoegaze idol group, which consists out of 5 cute girls with different personalities.
I think it's 7.
Oh, I think it's 7.
Yeah, it's 7. I think when they started out at first, it used to be 10. That's why their band name has 10 dots. And I believe it's not on the website anymore, but they used to sell a towel with 9 girls on it.
It's a little confusing because like I can't find that much info on it.
Yeah.
And like on the live performances, it's like
I
either
think
5 or 6 girls, I think.
I think after this album we're talking about, because they did another album before they broke up.
Wait, they broke up? No.
Yeah. Oh,
what?
Okay. We'll get to this in a second, because it kind of involves the person who organized them and stuff. But I think at least at first, from watching their first live performance on YouTube, they had about 7 girls, and I think they might have gone down to 5 later on. But
yeah.
They broke up because they kept dying. They kept having casualties.
Yeah. Blood for the blood god. Right. I mean, I guess we're going to talk about kind of their projects before this one too, right? Because I think it's kind of important.
Yeah, like generally, like all the weird, like
I really wanted
goals and YouTube account and vlogs.
Yeah, they developed that weird ghost app.
That's so funny. I had no idea about this band. I listened to the album like this morning. I go to their website and there's the website is really cool because it's just a bunch of floating dots with a word under each dot, and when you click on each dot, it takes you to a different place. And I just see a dot that says ghost, and I click on that one, and it takes me to the Japanese app store, not the app store, like the Android, the Android Play Store. And it's just like a weird geocaching Pokemon Go ghost hunting thing where you walk around the city and it tells you where a person died and where there might be like ghostly activity remaining, and it's really fucking funny. Yeah,
the website is super cool. Like the first button is like it says login, and it you can log in with your Twitter account, and then like it says you're logged in, and that's about it. I think nothing else happens.
They definitely seem playful.
The About page.
Yeah.
There's the About page where they have a few, like, their songs listed and stuff, and the albums, and everything they did. They have a music play button which just plays the first song of the first album.
Nah.
And, yeah.
Nah.
And while the song's playing, you can click around on the website, and it like, flashes up the lyrics. Like the lyrics come up on screen in like a lot of different colors and stuff.
I want to be that
cool.
designer.
Was it like that one music video they did with the floating dots? And the...
Yeah. There's also like the shop and history, and there's a Wi-Fi button. And I think I don't really know what it is, but I think what it is, it's like it has a link in it with like it's like a super dated website you can pull up on your phone, and then it tells you how close you are to the venues they played at in meters.
Yeah.
How
really
far
funny.
away were you?
They really give off those like elusive ARG type vibes. Like there's something more going on to it. I suppose I want to talk about their first CD, and I want to talk about kind of their dress coordination, because I think those are kind of big parts of their identity, is how they went about this. I have it in the show notes links here. I got the first one near the top of where we started posting links. It's 6 of them here, all in coordinated white dresses. They're each kind of different, but they all have like kind of a sort of flowy transparentness to at least the outer layers here, and I think that works really well because they all have black hair, and in the image I posted after that shows one of them with the glasses. I'm assuming they kind of look like blinds, like blindfolds.
Yeah.
The way they've done it.
I thought they were blindfolds. I didn't notice they were sunglasses.
At first I thought they were like sort of risers or something. Like the one dude from Star Trek?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, something like that, but I believe it's like, it's glasses with a cloth over it.
It's glasses. Yeah, it's glasses that should like resemble blindfolds.
Yeah, and
also, I really like how the girl...
They have this big like social commentary thing about idol culture and stuff going on.
Yeah.
With like everything they do.
I really like how the girl on the left here is holding the head of one of the 4 spirits from Mononoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That's all.
I like, at first, when I first saw them, some of their videos, I thought it was a lace over their glasses, that they had a lace, and it was kind of that pinpoint type of glasses. So you don't need to have a full lens, you just need to have these tiny holes that focus your vision.
Yeah.
But I think they're actually rhinestones. So you can see in this second image with this close-up here, they're kind of shaped like eyes, just a bunch of eyes going around here. I think it's pretty neat. I mean, that's not a super important detail, but... Ooh, spooky.
I mean, it is like part of their like identity and image that they're like all idols, but they dress the same, and like you can't see their eyes, so you can't really connect with them, and like how
you can't have that parasocial relationship.
Yeah, and like how all of their lyrics are about like super vague stuff.
Yeah.
About like fluffy, dreamy, nostalgic feelings.
Yeah, I think...
Is that different at all from normal pop idol music? Because that seems about right.
But
they're like a billion times more self-aware, though.
Yeah, I think it's that where you don't know any of their names. They're just dots as a collective, and not only that, I think kind of this vagueness to their entity, combined with sort of this noise pop, dream pop, shoegaze sort of music they got going on. I think that really kind of adds to the aesthetic of this kind of like elusive, almost political or social commentary they kind of got going on. Mm-hmm. It's not too direct, but you kind of get the point going into it.
Yeah, especially with the vlogs that I would like to get into now.
Yeah.
that
they have on their YouTube channel.
Get the dot.
Next to the music videos.
Mm-hmm.
They're like normal activities of the girls running around. I assume Tokyo with those glasses on, doing like normal stuff, or it's like there's some with like them playing with cats or like doing hair, like playing with another girl's hair.
Yeah. I liked one with it's them doing patty cake, like in front of one of the other members just trying to eat their food. They're having a lot of funs. There's this short one of one of the shorter members, I guess, trying to like get a drink from the top part of this vending machine that's on another layer, and that's it's just stupid shit like that. There's a lot of them, like, there's a whole series of them, like, during Halloween. They're kind of in different costumes, but they all have the risers on. So a lot of them are just eating food. Some of them are just playing, like, beat games. Like, I don't remember the specific name of it, but it's the famous one with the drum characters, the cute-ass drum characters.
Which one is it,
wait,
Alex?
there's a taiko one?
Yeah. Yeah, there's...
I can't believe I didn't see that.
I can't believe you didn't see that.
They have several...
Yeah,
there's even one of them just playing it on, like, the DS game. It's just like 3 minutes of them playing a song
Please try
on their
to
DS.
find it. Please try to find it.
Yeah, I can get it up for you. But I think it's a very fun part, and I think that's as far as they really go, as far as kind of the parasocial relationship. So you get to see a lot of these kind of cute moments in them behind the scenes and stuff, but you still don't know their names. Like, you can't really identify which either one of them besides their voice and their haircut. So I think
they don't have different colored hair like in anime, so it's more difficult.
So
same black hair.
Like, on one side it's fun and it's kind of the usual thing you kind of see with these online pop groups. But at the same time, it's just because of this rigid wall they have, like denying that parasocial relationship, people becoming obsessed over a certain member, I think kind of, again, like reinforces this commentary they're having.
Yeah, the last link I posted is one thing that I don't know if you've caught. It's like a thing they did for the Idol Expo in 2017. Yeah, the Budokan Idol Expo in 2017. They did like a thing where they put on like wristbands that record data over them sleeping, which was like when at what times they woke up or like turned around and fell back to sleep and stuff like that. And then they had a graph of that, and they turned that into like an arc and 3D printed that, like a 3D arc.
That's such a nerdy and specific dumb I'm looking at it right now. That's such a like a it's like taking the whole idol, like, ooh, you can have a little piece of my life and take it with you thing, and just making it the dumbest, most stupid, convoluted thing I've ever seen.
It's more like they're turning this into like a forceful art piece. Like,
yeah.
On one hand, it's thoughtful, but on the other hand, it's kind of like it's so apparent, but like people just still don't get it.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to
people learn nothing. People learn nothing from Perfect Blue, just like all these like these neolibs who learn nothing from Parasite.
All of these Korean, Japanese neolibs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they like tweeted about how this quote unquote sleep object, they called it
sleep object. No, this is
they like tweeted about how it's a bit heavy to bring home, but it's really cute, and like
there, I just posted one of them playing one of the beat games. That's the third video on their channel.
Oh, that's so sick. I got really big into taiko like 2 years ago.
I mean,
1 year ago.
They go
still
off.
Are.
They go off on that.
Yeah. Good shit.
Being good at taiko it's a prerequisite for being an idol. Well known.
Yeah,
fact.
it's called nemuri object.
Nemuri object.
Sleep object.
That's really fun.
Yeah. Somewhere on this website there's like a quote of something about how they did this to prove that they can make the stupidest shit and people will still buy.
I was right. That is the
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, I don't think they blew up as much as they could have. I would have really liked it, but I think their elusiveness also kind of turned people off.
Well, yeah, of course. They're going to be inherently niche if they're trying to be a weird niche thing, and you're trying to be against what's popular and against what's like the current method of consumption of idol culture.
It bangs so hard.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how much it bangs if nobody listens to it.
I found the thing in the article. I shittily Google translated the website, so yeah, there's
nice.
like a section where like the title, the question is, why did you make such a thing? And they explain, you need to go back in idol history. In the past, idols were watched over television, and no matter how close they get to the audience on stage, the idols were still really far away and wrapped in a mysterious veil. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but like all their live performances, or like the vast majority of them, were like in like tiny, cramped clubs.
Yeah,
they had people really close to them.
Before they broke up, I think they did a few bigger venues. So they got some nice recordings from that, but otherwise, for the majority of their existence, they did these really small, obscure clubs, and just of course they were all amateurs. I believe I posted one of their first performances, 2016, 10, 15. It's in the links channel, but that was one of their first ones, and you can tell they're absolutely amateur at performing, but it's also kind of endearing, I'd say.
Yeah, you watch them grow, and I forgot what I was about to say. Dang.
So I think their message is pretty direct, but given kind of the language barrier we have as not Japanese people, I think it's a bit more of a mystery to us. But regardless, it's all good shit. I enjoy shit like this. Yeah, it's incredible.
I feel like the mysticism of them is definitely getting much more elevated because we're so disconnected with them through the culture and language barrier. I feel like it would be slightly less like ethereal and cool if we were Japanese and we were like, oh yeah, it's just a bunch of teenage girls having fun. I don't know. I feel like if I understood everything on their website, I would probably feel they're less magical. But when you click on a dots link, you're like transferred to a different world, to a different dimension, until you hit translate page and you realize it's a ghost finding app. And I feel like that magic would be a little bit lost if we understood everything.
Consider us too. I don't know about you, Classmateguy, but I still feel as excited as I felt the first day I found out about all this stuff today. And it's still absolutely magical, and I really love this project.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still think it's like still interesting. I didn't actually look up most of this stuff until the other day, because I usually like to keep myself distanced from the artists themselves. I kind of do the same thing with Joanna Newsom, so I know there's a lot to learn about her, but I just kind of respect it more as her art more than the person, I'd say,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's all in good. Was there anything else we wanted to mention before getting to the album itself?
You guys wanted to tell me about how they broke up.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, so I'll talk about their history real quick. They did a lot of smaller EPs and stuff. First big one, this is kind of getting back into kind of their image and how they advertise themselves. They released in, I believe, 2017, a CD. It's kind of their first debut EP. It was 1 hour and 20 minutes long. And so usually when CDs come out, like new ones, especially for idol bands, they're about 3,000 yen. This one sold for about 18,000 yen.
Nice.
And it was, and it was this hour, it was almost hour and a half long. But the thing is that it has 7 tracks, 3 interludes. So an interlude, a single, another interlude, a single, and then 50 minutes of harsh noise.
Yeah. So I'm guessing that was refined into the album we listened to today.
Yeah, so the singles, those 3 singles actually went on into the album we're talking about today, but it's such a just cheeky and abrasive way to advertise your project, is to make people think they're getting a good deal by getting this long ass project for, cheaper than all these other new albums, and then just like, giving them some good
15 minutes
songs.
of harsh noise.
No, 50.
Oh!
50. Yeah.
Oh, that's even worse.
Giving them some like nice instrumentals and some singles, and then just hit them with noise for the the rest of the entire fucking album. And that's one of the like most appealing parts of kind of their image, is just they're just like, fuck it, who cares? And I'm honestly just impressed. I think the guy who kind of directs them has kind of been planning this, and he's also the same person who's doing kind of this next iteration of Dots. So, I mean, after the album we're talking about, 2019, of course, last year, I believe early 2019, they released Points, which is probably their only album that has like a normal sounding name. Because this...
But it's just Dots, again.
It's Points, yeah. But the title of the CD I was talking about before is just CD. That's the name of the EP.
This is bullshit. I love it.
So they've released other ones, like a small dance album, I think, kind of thing, and they've been on some compilations. I know Total Feedback 2018, I believe, is one they had a track on there. But as far as like their main stuff, they've actually released physical copies of. It's been CD, this album, and then Points, which is, they knew it was going to be their last album, because the last song on there is actually, I think it's just called Sayonara, or at least you hear them say goodbye a lot, and it's quite emotional, I think. So they broke up around like after that album release, after Points release, they broke up, and so the person who directed that one, now I don't know if if he took some of the girls from Dots, or these are some new girls, or half and half, or whatever, because we don't know who the actual members of Dots are. But now there's 4 girls in a new band called Ray, directed by the same guy. It's again shoegaze idol pop, and I'm a big fan of them already. They haven't released an album yet. I'm hoping they'll release one this year, but they've released about like 6-7 singles, and so there's a continuation. But from the beginning, they knew that Dots Tokyo wouldn't last forever. That this was more of a temporary project, because this was the first iteration of kind of this larger shift in, I guess, in kind of idol culture, or whatever their kind of goal is here.
Yeah, whatever it is. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about Ray, so I'll definitely check it out.
Oh, yeah.
Do you happen to know who the guy behind that is? Because I also couldn't find any info on like who produced the songs themselves.
I don't know. I don't know who it is. But I was thinking it kind of had some... No, I'm not saying they're the same people at all, but kind of like how Baby Metal, how there's kind of a disconnect between the instrumentals and the singers. It's more crafted, sort of in this way, like a precise fusion between these genres, rather than like...
Yeah, I was going to say this feels way more seamless and way less like, haha, look at how weird we're being. This was more like, oh yeah, this should have existed already. This is a great mix.
So, I mean, you'll hear the album, like, when you compare, like, the earlier live performances to the album, it's night and day, really.
Yeah.
Even though the live performances have their own charm, but like, just listening to the album and paying attention to it, you can just notice how nicely the production is done on here. It's really a piece of art, in my opinion. So, was there anything else now before we kind of get to the album itself?
I don't think so. No.
I don't have any further questions. We can keep going.
Oh, one last thing I wanted to mention.
Oh, wait, I do have one more thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You both do?
Yeah, we both do. After the project got canned, they released, like, I don't remember how many songs, I think like 6 songs or something as public domain. So
whoa, really?
and it says on that site, it says those songs and the instrumentals and the lyrics are free to use, to edit, to upload, to distribute and sell for free without giving any credits.
Holy shit.
Which is
Alex, we need to
crazy.
make a video game in which we
use the songs,
one of the
true.
characters is just voice clips from the songs. Like the little funny noises they make.
The audio files they have on that site are only instrumentals of a couple songs of like 6 songs of the first album. I don't know if that applies to the vocal performances as well. And I don't think it applies to the choreography.
That kind of reminds me of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard did something similar, where Polygonal Land, is that the name? Polygon Guana Land, yeah. That album they released into the public domain, so that anybody could like start their own record label and sell that album. You know, if however they wanted, it was completely free. That's just a small side note. That's kind of what that reminded me of. Something interesting also. Last thing I want to mention, it's pretty minor, but the only song that I couldn't find on an album that there was live performances of it's the first link I put up here. And the song name is YYYYMMDD, obviously a date format, the superior date format, by the way. And so I believe that was kind of their introduction song while they were getting out onto stage. So their set has started, but they're getting out onto stage, and that's kind of it's an interesting instrumental. It's just about 2 minutes long, and so I'd recommend checking it out. If
it sounds like a 2-minute long intro to an anime opening, like the opening riff.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Like it's just the opening riff.
Yeah, it's just one.
I could just imagine exactly how it sounds from that description. It sounds like every math rock song ever. It's just like 3 fun guitar riffs in a disorderly structure. Yeah. Anyway,
I think they also did some covers, some like live covers in the shows from like other shoegaze bands, but I'm not completely sure on that.
I wouldn't be surprised. They've done a lot of stuff, kind of a lot of more obscure stuff. So how do you want to approach this album here? Do you want to go track by track or favorites first?
I didn't write down any favorites. Like all the songs are just 10 out of 10.
I know.
That's my stance.
I have some that I like very slightly more than others, but this is like a modern classic to me.
I mean, if you have like more organized notes, you can take the lead.
I mean, I have notes song by song. I just went.
Me too. Yeah.
I listened to it 3 times and just wrote down a bunch of notes about how I feel about it. So I think we can start off from the first track, Ne. Ne. It's the opening. It's, I think, kind of the bright guitars really impacted me a lot, kind of as the beginning of that kind of waking up, that my morning routine when it first came out. This is the 6th track. This is one of the 3 tracks that was on the CD EP, by the way. This was the single that was before the noise. And
it's on the website, the only song on the website.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the instrumentals that is in the public domain, because they've been playing this one a lot. Of course, I think it's a good introduction to kind of some of the minor, what distinctions you can make out between the members. Of course, they all have different singing voices, but they all start kind of with a different, what do you want to call it, a noise?
Yeah, they are. I love that so much about.
Yeah. I thought that was really fun because I didn't know, somehow when I went to listen to this, I forgot it was an idol thing. So I remember listening to Ne and being like, oh, there's a bunch of different girls in here and they're all trying their best to sound a little bit different and like show a bit of a personality through their voice. And I thought that was really fun. It made me pay attention to the changes in voice throughout the rest of the album.
Some of them sound like softer and cute. Some of them sound more like stoic and like cool sounding, dashing.
Yeah.
So
this
dashing.
this is like my fetish to like this like the exact same appeal like the every kumiko noise video.
I knew you were gonna say that. I listened to the album and I thought Alex is gonna say this, this, and this. I knew it.
Yeah, this is my jam.
You just like cute Japanese girls.
So a few of them I wrote down was, ne, fu, ah, and e. Those are the ones that jumped out to me, at least. We just talked about it, but I cannot stress enough, like, how like, smart that was. Like, how powerful of a move that was to open up the album with this song. Like, this is classic. This is a classic review.
Perfect song to introduce them and establish them as absolute units.
As absolute units.
And establish them as absolute idiots that can only go, ooh, ah, ne.
So, I mentioned before kind of these high, bright guitars. I think that in conjunction with the sort of the calm singing of a lot of these, of a lot of the singers on here, I think that really adds to kind of the, it's kind of the wave coming in. It's kind of this calming introduction to it. If you could give one to, like, compared to the rest of the album, I think this is kind of a pretty, like, calm, catchy, it's pretty cute. And, yeah, it's just brilliant introduction to the album. One of my favorite things to wake up to. And I think, and the last thing I wrote about this is that the kind of the more noisy, lower, more shoegaze-esque guitars, it comes in during the chorus, but when, like, members are kind of saying their, like, more unique lines, I'd say, it kind of shifts out and it gives more impact to what they're saying.
Yeah, there was
Sorry, you go ahead.
Okay, yeah, there was like what I mainly noted for this song. That it's like they have this really catchy melody that they sing that like every different verse another girl sings this really catchy melody over a wall of sound and blazing guitars. And then there's like
it
more quieter parts where
and it's just
it
like,
goes back and it's like more like a plucky, just normal chords.
I think it's like a bass guitar and just like a simple drum beat kind of during those moments.
Yeah. And like,
so the melody is carried by their singing rather than kind of the more higher guitars that come in during the chorus.
Oh no! I mixed that up. Like when the wall of sound is happening, it's like multiple girls at once singing the chorus.
So
and when it's like turned down, it's always one girl, one or two.
I agree.
Oh my god, those sounds. Now thinking about it, that's like anime girl ad-libs.
It is. It really is. Each one of these girls just sounds like an anime girl stereotype. It's like it really felt like those videos on YouTube that put together a bunch of cute girls from different shows.
They began this album with a checkmate, like full force. It's both like high impact, like fuck yeah, but it's also like the perfect transition into the rest of the album. And I love this song. I love every song on this, but brilliant intro once again. Anything else? Anybody got anything else to say about this one?
All I gotta say is that you're a really good podcaster, and you are well spoken and can lead a conversation. That's
unlike me.
Please keep going.
please take my good mic.
Flushed, or I need the flushed emoji.
I need to flush the toilet.
Yeah.
Well,
Right,
we can move on to the.
Yeah.
We can move on to the second song.
Thank you. Second track is kimi no ochiru yoru. I practiced saying that so I wouldn't mess up.
Kimi ni ochiru yoru.
Yeah.
Kimi no ochiru yoru.
Yeah. Of course, they say it during the song. At first, I didn't think they did, but then I actually paid attention. Okay, first note I have here, like immediately in all caps, iconic melody. This begins with just like the most, like, it'll get in your fucking head. Kind of the
that's
guitars.
like every song. I know what you mean, but that's like also every single song on this album.
This was definitely the most memorable one for me.
Yeah, it's so memorable.
The synths are so punchy and so fun, and I was just like after now I was like, yeah, I'm having fun, and with this one I was like, yeah, I am having fun. Okay, it's true.
This album is like actually like genius and an absolute masterpiece. Like the first song, it's like it establishes the shoegaze, like the shoegaze part. Like the shoegaze influences and the idol parts, but then in the second track it like starts with like a shoegazy riff, but then instantly introduces breakbeats and like
it's awesome. Bass. I love it,
and like the super high energy rhythm, and it's so hype.
Yeah, but the synth kind of it begins with the melody. And something I noted is that while the instrumentals are going on, it's the synth that's leading the melody. But once it gets into the singing, kind of it passes off to the members who are usually singing the higher notes. And then when they're done, it goes back to the instrumentals. It's passed off back to the synth to carry on the melody. So
yeah.
So it's you kind of think there's this distinction between what's happening, but it's really like a one consistent just continuous earworm, I think, that's going on.
Definitely agree. What that reminded me of, like the last time I listened to the song, was like it sounds like it has like the same energy as a really, really good fighting game soundtrack, because they are made
to I know what you mean.
Like, be stuck in your head, and then like no matter how many hours you spent in training mode or in matches on that one song, it will never get boring ever.
No, I have the complete opposite opinion. They're meant to be really fun during fights and get into your head, but if you spend enough time with a character, you will hate their theme forever, and you will never be able to listen to it again.
I don't feel like that about
Look, I can't listen to Phonon's theme anymore. I just can't. I've spent too long in the mission room.
I'm immune to getting sick of really good songs.
Let's see. Something I noted here, this didn't happen in the first track, and we'll see it more later on in the album, is that like one of the members starts to sing, and then they hold a note, and then another member does their line, and then they join. That second member goes up to the note, and they finish off. And that happens a few different times, and I think most of the time leads off into the chorus. And even in the chorus itself, you have some of the members, singing kind of a higher note, while the others are talk singing or whatever. What's the word? They spittin'.
I can't think of it.
Yeah, I really get the point, but
yeah, we get the point.
It's things like that make, like, I don't know the language, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about most of the time, but I love to sing along to this shit.
Yeah.
It's just because of just how the harmonics between the members and how that complements with the instrumentals, and so it's kind of they're singing this kind of sounds emotional at times, but it's also like paired with the instrumentals, which are fast-paced. I noticed there's a lot of kick drums in here. They sound muted, or they at least sound kind of electronic sourced, but so kind of the pacing is really high, but their singing is not all the way up to speed as that, and I think that kind of that juxtaposition really draws something out for me.
Yeah, I really enjoy this kind of stuff. That's like one big aspect I really enjoy about mouth rock, which is like the opposite of shoegaze in my mind, because shoegaze is usually really drawn out.
It's just a lot more fuzzy. It's a lot more fuzzy.
Yeah, with really long vocal, like really drawn out vocals too. And mouth rock is like those really technical, fast-paced instrumentals with those really long drawn out. They like draw out every word as long as possible, and it just sounds cool.
Yeah, I think like if you want to make a good comparison between kind of the aesthetics of math rock and shoegaze, I'm just gonna use like emo, like lyrics, as a comparison point here. I'd say like American football, the first album, the first studio album, because they have an EP before that that's named American Football.
Yeah.
So that I think that's as far as as emo as the kind of comparison point here. American Football is a good example of how the direction math rock is kind of going in there. And on the other side, My Bloody Valentines, Loveless, another classic album, is kind of the same. It's kind of this kind of same, melancholy lyrics, but it's a lot more, the kind of that fuzzy shoegaze rock going on there. And
yeah, I wanted to bring up those two albums specifically, but I also felt kind of bad because both of those albums are like the one genre-defining album that people always go back to when they like say, "Oh, dude, I love math rock. Like American Football is my favorite album," or Loveless is my favorite shoegaze album.
Yeah. No,
yeah,
this
is
my
Alex,
they really take aspects from both.
Please fix your "I hate anything popular." Please fix it. Please fix it.
This is my favorite shoegaze album. I've said it before, but I love this one a lot. I'm a fan of Loveless. Don't get me wrong, and all these other shoegaze albums. I've been listening to a lot of more, like, of course you can find a shit ton on Asian shoegaze, that YouTube channel. I've been listening to some new ones that have come out from Japan and from America, just this year. But I think consistently that this album itself has been my favorite shoegaze album.
Yeah, same, probably, but it's also like so many more things.
Yeah, it's so many more things than that. Yeah, I don't know if there's I don't know if there's really like a pure shoegaze album.
I mean, I'd say shoegaze is also like a spectrum, I would say.
Yeah, it's a spectrum.
just like the emo Midwest emo rock scene. Why I brought up those two albums specifically is like it's definitely this sound, because there's a few songs specifically in the second half of the album that really sound like Loveless, and there's like one or two songs that really sound like Slow Dive.
I mean, you gotta come from somewhere.
Yeah. That was the point, I guess.
This is only the first step. Hopefully Ray will be making some new transformative moves in shoegaze. I can only hope. Regardless, it's still good. They know what they're doing with this album. Okay, for Kimi no ochiru yoru, the only other things I have here is that I like the girl who sounds cool. If I ever go to Japan and I hear a girl like that, I immediately fall in love. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got everything. Same. All my notes here. Do you have anything else for this one?
No, I think we can move on.
Okay, then the third track is Trinity Divide. This was the fourth track on the CD EP.
Oh, it's Trinity Dive.
It is?
It's, yeah. It's Trinity Daibu.
Trinity Daivu.
I don't know why I had divide. Shit. I gotta brush up. I gotta brush up my moon runes, dude. Alright, yeah. This was the fourth track on the CD EP. One of the 3 singles that was on that came on to here. First thing I noticed from the outset of this album, or at this outset of this track rather, is the synths and how they pan from left to right real quick.
Yes.
And how that is keeping the pace rather than the drums. And and it not only that, but it kind of layers just how much is going on as the chorus continues. And really good job. You kind of see the same thing on the next track too, but I think that kind of really sets the tone for this. And then you can hear kind of the higher synths then start to carry the melody on this one.
Yeah, this one is definitely much more dancey and has a bigger focus on like the soft synth type of stuff.
Yeah, there's like kind of this low whining synth you can hear sometimes, and
this like
it's very nice. I think this feels like one of the most emotional songs as far as the lyrics go on the album. Because they're all in during the chorus, and they're singing these long notes, and it almost sounds like crying, I think. Sometimes,
yeah, they have this really have those like octave jumps with like really long, really high notes.
Yeah, and again, I don't know what they're talking about, but it does sound quite emotional, and I think that kind of adds into one of the reasons why I very much want to sing along to this song.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's less like short syllable verses, where I don't have to know Japanese to be able to sing along with this, because it's especially during the chorus, since it's a lot like longer notes. It's easier for me to swing along.
Yeah, I'm looking at so this song Trinity Dive is also on the public domain page of the website.
Hell yeah.
And I'm still looking at the website translated lyrics, and it's like very vague stuff about like walking around in a city at night, about trying to push on with the journey, about the night never ending, and looking up into the night sky and wondering about what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Gonna machi, gonna be shitty.
Like I assume it's about some sort of vague stuff about existentialism and not doubt and whatnot.
I mean, it's probably less vague if you actually look at properly translated lyrics.
Yeah.
It's more like poetic than vague.
Yeah. Again, I think this is another one of the more memorable ones. And I think they know it because they put it on the CD EP. That, I don't know what else to say besides this is a good song. I mean,
yeah,
every song is a good song, but this is just another good song.
Yeah, like this is one of the songs that you can like really feel.
Yeah,
the movement of like all the tiny parts working together to create like this really big, cool, moving, living song.
Absolutely. It's harder to describe. You just feel it. You just know it when you hear it.
Yeah, this album's like kind of everything I love about music in one.
Yeah, it's not so
cool, mysterious package.
Yeah, it's not so like direct and fabricated. I'd say like modern pop. The kind of it's not commercial. I'd say. I
mean, kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
With the instrumentals do sound pretty clean. Like they're very, very well produced. And like the idol stuff too makes it seem a bit commercial, I guess. But yeah,
commercial isn't bad. Everything's commercial in some way.
I
meant more. Bad.
I meant more like in its vapidness, I'd say.
Yeah.
You kind of get that with some of this more like cheaper like pop trap sort of shit, especially here in the U.S. I listen to a lot of new music, and there's a lot of trap music that just sounds boring, and it's just
It's definitely trying to have some sort of artistic merit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just riding the wave.
It's there's a lot of thoughtfulness into this.
Yeah. That's the right way to put it, I'd say.
Yeah. I feel that, though. I spend a lot of time on SoundCloud listening to new music. And I what's up with the trap music? Come on, please leave.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's only blown up more since like XXX Tentacion. Yeah, XXX Tortilla made big news. I think a lot more trap producers kind of going in, and it's creating more of a community for that now. I'm sure there's some good ones, but it's I forgot the name of the law.
I can definitely link you some good stuff. Like there's this new underground movement of like people making those really distorted bass boosted meme sounds into actual bangers, and it sounds really cool. It's like trap music, but everything's just turned up to the max.
So you mean kind of like
on purpose? It has also like a little of that shoegazy quality to it.
I was thinking kind of like 745 Sticky by 100 Gex, sort of that kind of just grimy bass.
Oh yeah. I just listened to that album again like a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's another classic. I hope you guys do one on that.
I wouldn't call that a classic.
Maybe, but I think it's like a culmination of like internet culture since 2008.
I'll link
like,
you some stuff that's like that, but
not to get too distracted here. Anything else to say about Trinity Dive?
No, I think we can move on.
Yeah.
Not spend too much time on every song.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of notes on Trinity Divide, but definitely listen to it. It's definitely a good song. I mean, same thing goes for the whole album. Track 4, Soda Float Kibun.
Oh yeah, that's this song. It's so dream pop.
Yeah,
it has all those big summer twang, cool vibes. I
only have a few notes here, but the biggest one is it immediately makes me feel happy when I listen to this track. And the panning synths from Trinity Dive kind of float right into this one, which is something I think they did well in this album. Is that they have certain qualities in their instrumentals that they'll kind of put next to each other, and so it kind of feels like it flows more into a song rather than it cuts and then it goes into something totally different.
I also really like how those they kind of applied shoegaze arrangements to the electronic synths, like how using the drawn out guitar chords, like using synths like that, where they just like have really long saw pads with like a bunch of effects put on, like supplementing the guitars and like the more dreamier, slower parts.
Yeah, I think it's kind of that. Of course, that they turn the dream pop up, shoegaze elements are still there, but I think what really adds it to this, besides this more dream pop aesthetics that make me happy, is just the bass. It is groovy as hell.
The bass.
It is groovy ass bass, and that really brings it over the top for me.
I think the song is when after the song I went back to some other tracks, and I noticed how good the drumming is on this album.
Yeah,
there's so many amazing drum fills and perfect pacing with the drums cutting out at the perfect moment. It's super fun.
Yeah, there are a few later on that have really just intense drum fills, and I mentioned before, but kind of some of the albums we talked about previously, there's a lot of kind of hitting the snares that adds a lot of impact especially sometimes it's like hitting the snare right as they go into the chorus, and it's just kind of this build up and then.
I noticed they also used those 808 trap snares.
Yeah,
in the song. Those was cool. Way ahead of the time.
So I don't have anything else for Soda Float Kibun. It does make me like very happy. If I were to ever like listen to a single from this album on its own, this would be one of them that I could listen to like individually. Because usually I usually exclusively listen to things as albums, but
me too. Yeah, especially this one. I even if I like put all the songs on my phone on shuffle and one of the songs from this album comes on, I just listen to the whole album again.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. It's like, really, if this came on, if I had it on a mix, as soon as I heard this, I would just turn on the album. So like I could just groove out to the whole thing. Because it's simultaneously so energetic, but the kind of slower emotional moments kind of mixed in just makes it so good. All right. Anything else for this one?
Yeah, dude, you overlook the cool sax solo and the sick distorted guitar.
Really? Wait, did I not write that down? What the I must have wrote it down on the one I didn't save. Yeah, okay. I'm a big jazz guy. I fucking love horns, dude.
Same, dude.
That's a sexy ass horn. I love the instrumental.
A horn, but yeah.
There
was a really cool, like sprinkled in between the sax solo. I think I caught like cool, more hard rock, classic hard rock inspired distorted guitar riffs, if I remember correctly, which was also really nice.
And I think that kind of acts as a nice bridge between the noise aspects and the shoegaze aspects of this song, and that leading into the sax solo kind of, already with this groovy bass and this kind of these painting synths that kind of keep this nice pace, and then you get this nice guitar solo with some more cleaner guitars kind of in there. And it ends off on that, and absolutely joyful song. This one. Do you have anything else?
Nope. I think we can go into the next one, which is Bungaku Shoujo.
Yes.
It's more laid back, chill, cutesy type.
Yeah, I'm softer vocals. You see a lot more softer vocals on this one. So like the past two weren't as soft. They're a bit more high impact. Or they were going at least a lot louder, as much as they were going up more octaves. This one, it's much more soft. I noticed that the guitar takes the lead between the verses that the members are singing, and that I kind of noticed at some points in this, the way they pluck the guitar sort of reminded me a bit more of math rock. I think in the way it felt a bit more precise how they were kind of carrying the melody with the kind of more clean guitar on this one.
Yeah, I think they have like the main riff going through the whole song in this one, and it's like less like movement, and like the whole song's more like on the same level where it doesn't escalate as hard on the chorus like the other ones.
Yeah, it's not as much of a wave. It's not a tsunami like some of these other ones. It's nice and calming. It's catchy just as much as the other ones. This is another one where I think the snare puts a lot of impact into the beat, especially just kind of its timing with the members' verses as they end them. And another thing about this other one, that it's the only thing I sort of don't always completely like sometimes, is that since it has softer vocals, you want to try to put more emphasis on that, but at the same time, the lead guitar is playing right over that, and so it's a bit of a clash, in my opinion. And this is maybe the only ever slightly negative thing I have to say about this album, It's just like kind of some parts of this song kind of have that. I find it a bit distracting.
I don't remember that.
I don't know, maybe it's just a weird ass niche pet peeve I have, but it was a little distracting, but still, just like every other song on this, it's pretty damn good. Yeah, I like it. Just like some of the other songs, they kind of carry the melody off to one of the instruments, so it's quite consistent throughout the thing. It's not too high impact, but it is quite memorable, just like the other ones. You have anything else to say about this one?
No. Lemon, you didn't make any track-specific notes, right?
No, I only listened to the album once, so I still haven't, like, understood each track individually very well, sorry.
No, it's no big deal.
A lot of them blended in between them because I haven't listened to it enough times.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't as high impact, so I understand that, like, it doesn't stick out as much. But I do think, like, in context of the album, it's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not much of a single quality.
I hope we can listen to it together sometime, Lemon, and then like me pointing out every little detail every 20 seconds.
Well, I do want to listen to it more. I just haven't.
You
in
need
preparation
to do
for this recording.
Yeah, dude.
Do a lecture. Yeah, do a lecture at SketchyCon. We'll go through the entire thing.
Sounds good.
So the next track is track 6, is hosshikyousu Feedback. This is one of my favorites.
Oh, I do remember liking this one a lot, actually.
Yes.
Yes.
The feedback on this is delicious. I can slurp it up. Yes. It's super fast paced.
Another super catchy.
Yeah,
melody.
You know, they repeat a lot of words in the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kinai. I think that's the one they repeat the most, but.
Oh yeah, at the end where they go like suki, and then kirai.
I remember that.
Tobe.
Oh,
yeah.
So good. I like this album has so many like seemingly chaotic elements, like the mic feedback and stuff, that are like pulled off flawlessly.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I noticed the drum beat actually shifts quite a bit in this song, but it all fits perfectly. So at first it's the kick drum is keeping the beat, and then it's kind of the fast paced. Yeah, it supports kind of this fast paced, like, high impact the song has in the beginning. But it can also shift as they're starting to get into the chorus, like when one of the members counts in English. So 1, 2, 3, yeah, and then it kind of like it just shifts just enough so it calms just enough, and then as soon as they get into the chorus, it's all just snare hits and fastest kick drums, and that is great. Again, you kind of get more of these high octave vocals during the chorus.
Oh yeah, they sound so close to cracking their voices.
Yeah. But the fact that they don't, I think just makes it all more impressive.
I want to see a live performance of the song.
I think they might have done one.
Yeah, probably.
Like, I at least know that 50-minute track I was talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That's just pure noise. They've played like 2 minutes of that during some live concerts.
Ooh.
Where it's just like total blaring noise, and they're all like wreathing around each other and shit. And it's weird. It's so cool. So I wouldn't be surprised, because I think this kind of gets more back into kind of the noise aesthetic of shoegaze, and it's just a bop. It's a bop. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The only thing I would have to say is that the member with the really soft voice is kind of a bit quieter in some parts of this song.
Honestly, that might just be also because of, like, that's just a shoegaze thing where, like, sometimes the soft voices are so quiet.
Yeah.
That it kind of has become, like, part of the genre. Even if it was an accident at first.
So, I mean, it's not necessarily a negative, but it did stick out to me. And there's this breakdown, I think, in the second third of the song. They're using the bass and the hi-hat with the quieter alternating distorted guitar. And that just kind of changes the groove immediately. Which I think is good. And then later, kind of as the song is ending, they get back into the regular pace of the track. But yeah, it's very good, very high impact, hella catchy. It's really dynamic as far as the structure of the song goes, and this is just one of, like, the more it's a headbanger. It's a headbanger of a single.
Yeah.
This is a good one. You have anything else on this one?
No.
All right.
The next one, dude, it's cider. Yeah, that one specifically sounds a lot like My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
With all I still don't know how they do it. I assume it's like a tremolo thing where, with all the, like, really slidey chords. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I got you.
It's like.
Yeah. This one, I think, has more of the drum fills we were talking about earlier. You can see later in the song, it's like multiple drum fills, and then they just, like, hit the snare like 4 times in a row as they're getting into the chorus, and during the chorus itself too. And it's that's a brilliant part in the beginning of this. You have the saw alliteration one of them has going on. You remember that part? No?
Maybe.
Yeah. One of them was using, like, heavy alliteration. And this, which was... I don't know. I especially because I didn't know the language, I think it was kind of impressive. And just kind of like, ooh. Kind of threw me for a loop.
Oh, no, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you're saying it.
It just... consistently, so you're talking about kind of the lower distorted guitars kind of going on a loop there, kind of like a My Bloody Valentine track.
Yeah, this is very old school sounding.
Yeah,
like in general, the whole track, nothing too crazy.
There's a bunch of drum fills on this one, which are just straight up addictive. I can just fucking snort this shit. It's really good. It gets me so pumped up. And I'd say this is one of the only other ones that feels like legitimately emotional in how they perform the lyrics on this one. Especially, during the chorus, it's good, and then kind of the breakdown they get, where it's kind of this bass just alternating between 2 notes, and then they kind of alternate.
Oh yeah, one of those throw-in voices.
So mo, bum bum. Yeah, I love that breakdown, and I think
it kind of sounds like they just, like, kept talking in the studio after recording recording the vocals, and they just put it in. Yeah,
and I'd say that kind of looping distorted guitar, it kind of fades out, during the breakdown, since it's focusing a lot more on what the members are saying. When it comes in after they finish that up, I feel like it just comes back with so much more fervor in it that it feels even better than when the track began.
Oh yeah, I think that was, like, that part specifically had, like, a little, like, throw-in synth melody fill before that. There's like da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
so good.
That was a song. Yeah. There's a lot to these songs. I wish I was more, educated in music production, because I wish I could break this down, because there's multiple layers, I feel. Yeah,
that's kind of what my notes are based off, but like, I don't know, it's a bit hard to talk about. I think it was either this song or the one before that. I noticed they just had bird chirping sounds in the background at some point.
Yeah.
I never noticed that before.
I think it was hosshikyousu feedback. They had bird chirping. There was another one. They had some other kind of sound bite in there. I forgot what it was, but it was just kind of like way off in the background. Mm-hmm. While all this other shit was going on. It was kind of a nice added to like this organized chaos they have. Really, really nice. You have anything else? Oh yeah, I was gonna say Cider. Cider is the first song they played live. At least what we got from their YouTube channel. I posted a link in the show notes channel. And this is really like a nice comparison point for seeing how they've grown, kind of between first crafting these songs and performing them, and how they ended up on the album. I believe there's even some vlogs of them practicing kind of vocals as a group in a studio and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was cute. Did you notice any like difference in the songs themselves between that performance and like the studio recording?
Not really. I don't think so.
Yeah, because
maybe something minor, but
yeah, I also don't remember any major changes, which was kind of weird to me.
And I mean, but they're only the singers, because I think if they had live instruments with them, you'd see more variance in it. Because somebody like Car Seat Headrest, Will Toledo, he changes like the entirety of the sound during his live performances.
Yeah,
he'll just go wild with that. But I think kind of as an idol group, and I think that might be more kind of just expected in like Japanese idol culture, is kind of this consistency.
That's what I think too. I don't remember seeing any videos of like bands on stage. It was usually just them doing the dance and singing.
Yeah, the only one I remember is Miku. At a Miku expo. They played music live.
Oh my, what? No way.
Yeah. I believe it was, I'm pretty sure Anna Monoguchi did some live stuff with her.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Wow.
You have anything else to say?
No, I think we can move on to Satellite, which is like one of the more iconic songs in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too.
It was like one of the songs that made me think that they kind of sound like they're at the same levels of hype like the Pillows would be. It's like the shoegaze idol cute girl version of the Pillows.
Yeah, first
the
thing
Pillows
I wrote down was that the
I
kick
didn't
drum
want to make
and
that
the
analogy.
Drum fill up into the song, kind of this intro they have, is hella hype. It is hella hype.
Yeah.
Like immediately starting off, you have this huge impact going into the beginning of the lyrics. I think you find again those like distorted guitars that are looping, like we were talking about on hosshikyousu feedback. You hear them again, I think, but they're kind of pitched slightly higher than last time. I think probably just because of the kind of the dynamics of the song itself. And you kind of hear more like, I think it's more of a clean electric guitar, and you hear kind of these little, I don't want to say solos, but just kind of like these little plucks or whatever, like between between verses.
Muted notes. It's like muted. Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'd say what's a good distinction between this one and other ones is that during the chorus, they aren't pitched as high. They aren't going, an octave higher than they would sing otherwise. And I think between that, kind of them singing at a regular or a lower octave, and the kind of everything else, like this muted guitar and kind of this more looping, distorted one, I think kind of adds a different kind of juxtaposition compared to the other songs.
It definitely stands out.
Yeah. This is another one where the drum beat shifts around. And they
do that a lot.
Yeah. This is one where kind of they have the drum fill, and then it hits the snare just as they get into the chorus, and that's super satisfying.
One. Yeah, this one has this super, like, reverby 80s snare.
Mm-hmm. This hype, fast-paced, another classic, works really well as a single.
I mean, now we're just repeating ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
Other song.
Yeah, that's what I've been feeling for the past 10 minutes. It's just like, I don't know what else to say about this album besides that it's good.
Okay, what are some unique things about the last two tracks? To pick up the pace a bit.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we can go through this fast. We're going a bit long here. Sorry to y'all.
Those last two, the album is 45 minutes long, and the last two songs are like 10 minutes of that. They're all pretty lengthy.
Ninth song is Slide. This is the second song that appeared on the CD EP. It's a lot faster paced, but the singing is a lot slower and calmer.
It's like a calm version of Trinity Dive.
Yeah, that's what I felt. It gets emotional again, just like Trinity Divide. So I think that kind of sticks out in kind of their selection for the CD EP. Is that kind of this really catchy but kind of like nice and calm paced singing to it that kind of gives this emotional feel to it. I think was kind of like, and especially that kind of within the CD EP itself, where you get kind of these nice, emotional songs like Trinity Divide and Slide, compared, stacked right next to this 50 minutes of harsh noise. That's good kind of shit. I'm sure it was all intentional.
Yeah, definitely. And the very last song, 1998, is another very My Bloody Valentine, a slow dive type of more classic sounding song.
Yeah, this one has
classic shoegaze.
More of a skittering beat, I'd describe it as.
I think this one also had like a thing where it was like after every other line, the voice changed. It was a different singer, and it was also a pretty cool close like ender.
Yeah, so the members changed lines a lot, and this is another one where they're kind of a bit more soft and emotional, and that really stuck out against kind of this grinding, distorted guitars in these wearing. I noticed the more high pitched guitars were just kind of wearing back and forth a lot on this one. So again, I don't
more
like
fill riffs.
I feel bad for like overusing words, but the juxtaposition between these two really adds to the experience. And I believe around 2/3 of the track, there's this beat and bass breakdown, followed by the rest of the track just following up with a long ass guitar solo to finish off the album. And
oh yeah, that was so nice.
Yeah, and it's a very satisfying end to the album, because with other albums it's just like you don't get something like that. You don't get a it's like you're falling off a cliff. You know, you hear this really great, this really great bop, and then it's like 5 seconds of instrumental, and then the album ends, and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, but this one, great emotional track, catchy just as any other track, and then it ends with this, 2-minute guitar solo, instrumentals in full swing, and, it ends with that last riff by the guitar, fades out, cuts off, and...
Yeah, I might be a bit biased, but I think, like, the pacing of the full album is also really well done.
Yeah, I agree.
Even with, like, the... whatever track it was, in the middle, which was, like, the only super chill track, the one with the sax solo.
Oh, was that... I believe that... Wasn't that, Soulful Kibun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Track 4. With the groovy bass and all that. I think that was the only other one where you kind of... There was this really distinct solo going on.
Yeah, it was more distinct than the others, but, like, it was a nice interlude, I guess, in between the other stuff.
I mean, do you want to kind of talk about the album as a whole? Kind of its pacing and the experience itself? While ending this off?
I think we talked about this enough, like, thrown in with bits and pieces.
Yeah.
The whole time. It was generally really hype. The super high energy and also the chill tracks were super nice. Catchy melodies, cute girls. Lots of character.
Very nice and mysterious kind of band. Really well done production. Catchy ass songs. Really interesting live performances. Kind of their media in general. Really elusive. I still really like the one with the cool voice. She's cute. No amount of weird marketing can stop the simp.
Anyways, to close this out, I wanted to ask Lemon, since you didn't have that much to say for the track-specific stuff. I know your tastes are like more like, I guess you don't really listen to like shoegaze type of stuff, to like niche stuff, and it's more like groovy, upbeat video game soundtracks and funky stuff, I guess. How did you like the album? Oh no.
He's dead.
Am I muted?
No, you're not muted.
What's that?
Oh, there you are.
Hey, you're back. Okay. Yeah, how did you think?
I was. I've been trying to speak this whole time, throwing things, and I felt like I had been ignored because
wow. No.
people kept talking over me.
Wow. Okay,
we just couldn't hear anything.
Feel free to just add in anything that we might have
No,
missed.
most of it was addressed by you guys at some point.
I mean, if you said it, then I'll like...
No. Because I would just start to say something and then I wasn't heard because I obviously... Something bugged out in Discord and I wasn't being heard in the call. Whatever.
Yeah, that sucks.
Anyway, point is... I was talking about how I usually listen to music that isn't very emotional, just because I listen to music as more of an entertaining thing than anything else. Even though I do listen to a ton of music, it's usually music that's not very wistful, not very melancholy. And I feel like this album strikes a very, very nice balance between the two, and I'm going to listen to it more often.
Wow. You said it better than I could have. I've been trying to I've been trying to find the words to describe it, but
fucking Discord didn't let me.
Yeah. That's actually tragic.
No, it's fine. I just tried to say like 3 things, and none of them panned out. That's all.
Yeah, I think Lemon summarized it very well. Just very nice balance between this kind of, upbeat, kind of nice shoegaze idle pop melody and this more emotional stuff you kind of get from Slow Dive or Loveless and stuff like that.
Yeah, but also you're wrong, Lemon, because I know you listen to a lot of emotional music too. Like
Like what?
Like the Persona OSTs.
But
Dude, I'd
guess.
call all the card captor openings very emotional any day of the week.
Okay, you're right. Well, I'd say the first one is playful, the second one is passionate, the third one is emotional. But whatever.
Well,
I guess I do, but most of the time I listen to more fun stuff, and I feel like this is a nice dip into the more emotional side.
yeah, I'm glad I forced you to be here today.
I could have just listened to the album and enjoyed it with you.
No.
I didn't need to be on a show about it, but that's fine.
About next time, since Graf's not here, and I guess this is my show now.
We should listen to one of Asha's albums. She listens to a ton of fun music, and she could be
No.
on that
I have something cool that I know she would enjoy a ton, which is
Okay.
I don't know which album yet, but I would really like to talk about any album by an artist called Maaya Sakamoto, which made
She
did
heard stuff from her, I think.
Okay, she did a
Let me
ton
look
of
her up.
voice acting work, but more importantly, every song she made sounds like a card captor opening. Unironically, it's incredible, and she has so much music. And she did sing
this is the woman you were linking earlier.
Yeah, she sung the third card captor opening and the first clear card opening.
Right.
Yeah,
I know
remember
who
like
this is.
the other night where we both added opening 3 at the exact same time to watch together? Yeah. She sung that song. So,
She also did a few of the insert songs for the show. The
maybe
ones that just randomly play in the middle of an episode.
maybe we can talk about the album that song is on, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'll check it out and see if I can join you guys next time.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Classmateguy.
Yeah.
And
here's my shout out. Shout out to me, Classmateguy. I also have a little project going on called the Comfy Artists Union. We're kind of collecting money together and helping out people who can't afford much artistic stuff. It's been on a bit of a downturn. I've been dealing with a lot of real life stuff, with this whole virus going on. But feel free to join. We'll help you if we can. We'd love sort of more of a community to prosper there. So links in the description. You can find it. You can find it through my Twitter account and all that.
Yeah, we'll link everything. Thanks for listening to this almost 1 hour longer than the actual album long episode of Sick Jam Sundays. Remember to join our Discord, the Sketchy People Plaza, link below. Our podcast, the Sketchy People Podcast, is putting out new episodes every Thursday. And we have a cooking show every Sunday evening.
As well as Sketch With Us
Yeah.
every other Monday.
Yeah,
Full
as well as the drawing show, Sketch With Us.
as long as you're inside because of the virus, might as well listen to some SPP here.
Heck yeah. Well, goodbye.
See ya.
Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.